Hello and welcome back. I'm Richard, this is Lap of the World, and today we actually have a few things to cover. First, I have an update on the NSX. I'm going to follow that with a quick state of the channel address before then we move on to talk about what we ended up getting to replace our Mini. So stick around. So without wasting any time, I've gotten an update from the guys at Source One Automotive, and it was the snap ring. And it's not pretty. So for those of you who are counting, that was 3, maybe 4 bearing balls away from being a complete hand grenade of a transmission. Right, the snap ring. So for those of you not already immersed in the 3-letter Honda Acura culture, let me start with a little explanation that will hopefully also serve as some consumer advice. Certain 91 and 92 NSXs came with a machining defect in the transmission. And this machining defect allows a snap ring that holds the countershaft in place to move around and flex when the helical cut gears on the shaft come under axial load when torque is applied to them. Eventually, all that flexing and moving causes the snap ring to shatter and get processed through the rest of the transmission and cause all kinds of havoc. As you saw in the pictures earlier. Now I've provided a description and a link below if you want a more technical explanation than that, but suffice to say that it's a well-known issue with 91 and 92 NSXs. Most of these have been taken care of. They get addressed by replacing a part of the transmission case. However, there are still a few time bombs left out there to be aware of if you're shopping. Now, Brian at Source One tells me this is easily the highest mileage initial failure that they've seen. And frankly, common wisdom when I bought my car 9 years ago was it already has 200,000 miles on it. If it hasn't failed by this point, you're probably safe. So let this video also serve as something of a PSA that no, you're not. If you have a car, regardless of age or mileage, and the transmission is in the serial range, to have the machining defect, go ahead and get the case replaced while the parts are still available. There aren't very many ways an NSX is just going to up and break, but this is definitely one of the more expensive ones. In my case, and as an excuse for releasing another video late, I am currently in the process of sourcing a replacement gearbox for my car. In literal terms, the original transmission is salvageable. Many of the synchros and internal bearings could be replaced or cleaned or what have you, and it could be refurbished to be functional again. However, it made more economic sense, given the amount of labor involved with that, to just source a good used box with no shrapnel inside. Fortunately, I have one on the way, so we should be taken care of, and hopefully I'll have some more pleasant updates in coming episodes. Now, changing gears slightly, let's talk YouTube. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time on this because God only knows every other YouTuber is probably going to be bitching up a storm for clicks. Suffice to say that our 2018 1,000 subscriber goal has become a little bit more significant. YouTube has recently changed their partnership policy such that you need to have 1,000 subscribers and somewhere in the order of, I think it's 4,000 viewing hours in a running 12 months before you're able to monetize any videos. Now you'll note that there were no ads on this video, and there aren't on any of my other videos. That's because we're nowhere near the threshold to make any money off of them anyway. And if I'm not getting any money from YouTube to, I don't know, replace a freaking transmission, then I'm certainly not going to inflict ads on anyone who is cool enough to stop by and spend your time watching my video. If you want to help, not only me, but any new YouTubers, then pause this video and actually go and click subscribe on all of your small-time favorite YouTube channels so they can one day hope to make a buck in this new format. Just don't forget to come back. Now then, on to the fun stuff. If you'll remember in our last video, we had begun shopping to replace our much-loved but unfortunately outgrown Mini Cooper S. That car's been great for us, and it's lasted my wife as daily transportation through years of Colorado winters and Tennessee summers, but it was time to move on. And move on we have. So without further ado, and new to the Lap of the World stable, I present to you our new 2013 Volkswagen GTI Wolfsburg Edition. So how did we land on a GTI? Well, real back seats, check. Fun to drive? Definitely. Still has character? We think so. Some Lap of the World trivia for you. This is actually the first proper German car that I've owned. Yeah, I know the Mini is a BMW product, but that's really a quasi-German facsimile of a British sports car powered by a French engine. Dieses Auto aber ist ganz deutsch. But how German is it really? Well, this particular example of a GTI was actually assembled in Wolfsburg. And on top of that, from a philosophical standpoint, I will submit to you page 71 of the owner's manual, which begins, "Frontal collisions and laws of physics." That's right, leave it to the Germans to try and explain the crash physics to you before explaining the safety features. Das Auto. Bringing things full circle, my wife and I are really looking forward to putting many fun miles on our new-to-us GTI. And along those lines, I'd like to give a shout out to Ryan, Andy, and Nick at Harper Porsche Jaguar for maybe the easiest and most relaxing car buying experience I've ever had. They're not paying me to say that. I just want to recognize some guys that did a great job for us and give a recommendation. If you're looking for a car, maybe go see them. But in the meantime, we're going to leave it there. I'm Richard, this is Lap of the World, and I'll see you in the next video, if not at the track. Prost!